Thanks for joining in as we spend time in prayer and reflection and virtual company of one another today. The meditations of Thich Nhat Hanh expand my heart. Thank you for that. It's a pleasure and an honor to share in my wandering reflections with you. Sometimes I raise my head up out of my collar and I look about and I consider the institution that I am loyal to. And that brings all kinds of questions of its own. But in today's reflection, I share that my concern is about how God is calling the churches to participate in the healing of the world. What is our narrative, our story that provides hope and direction, light for our path? In my worldview and my faith practice, God is the primary agent. And it is in joining with God that I can and that we together can be co creators in the restoration of life to our families, to our churches, to our communities, to our fragile earth, our island home. Last night, I went for a little walk with my husband, Jana, and our two little dogs. The wind had been blowing all day, quite bitingly for Ontario, and the sky was unusually clear for the area in which I live. Stars and space spread out before us, a glimpse at the vast expanse of interstellar space, a feast for the eyes, and a blessing of feeling connected well beyond my reach. Looking at the night sky opens my mind and my heart to wondering, to remembering, to dreaming, and to prayers. Even in the coldest nights of my childhood, I would stare up at the stars and think, who else is looking up at the stars tonight? What is God up to, enthroned in the splendor of these otherworldly jewels of the stars, in the colorful neon robes of the northern lights? What is God up to in all this glory and also loving me, loving humanity and all of creation with a love deeper and broader than the ocean of stars above my head? With my feet on the ground and my mind on the stars, my heart cannot help but connect with all that lies in between. We are creatures of this earth, water and air that make up our habitat. All this thinking, I ask myself sometime, am I a thinker who thinks or a thinker who acts? God is up to what God has always been up to, the transformation, refounding, and reweaving of life across creation. And we're being continually invited by the Spirit to join in with God, with our own agency and our intention and our willingness in this vast mission, ourselves as a sign, witness, and instruments of what God is doing for the whole of creation. We're invited as agents of healing and reconciliation. We humans have opportunities all around us and the capacity for learning, for fostering change, for overcoming constraints. Primate's World Relief and Development Fund is deeply engaged in the work of peace and justice and sustainability through shared learning, giving voice to the marginalized, showing respect as allies, as influencers, and as doers. Recognizing, as we hear in the book of Revelation, look, God's tabernacle is among humankind. God will live with them. They will be God's people, and God will be fully present among them. So, reweaving, I like that word, reweaving our relationship with creation and with the climate, we're called to see with the eyes of our hearts what the angel showed John in the book of Revelation. The river of life giving water, clear as crystal, which issued from the throne of God, and the life giving leaves, medicine for the healing of the nations. In this passage, it is clear that the origins of life giving water are sacred. They come from the throne of God. Our land, air, streams, lakes, and oceans are sacred. The life that is planted and which grows up wild is sacred. Divine love, which comes to life in the form of land creatures, air creatures, sea creatures, is sacred. And healing. So when I contemplate how God is calling the churches to participate in the healing of the world, it occurs to me to ask, embracing our own agency as children of God, co creators of our present and our future together, how is God calling me, calling us to participate in the healing of the world? And especially, how am I responding?